Nick is actually getting our 800 horsepower package. As far as I know, I think Brandon said he is a little bit of a younger generation. I believe he's in his 20s, so he's gonna have to be careful with this car when we get it back to him.
Back in the operating room.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna put this head on.
What car is this going on again?
Silver C7. I did the cam, the DOD delete, rods and pistons. And it's getting a supercharger too. And a fuel system.
So this only took you today, really, right?
I told you I'd be here all day, right?
Oh,
This morning you asked me, or yesterday?
Yeah. What kind of superchargers on there?
It's getting A and A.
I guess hook up.
What do you have to set that to?
59 foot-pounds for the first pass.
And the second pass, you have to go over it again?
Yep, and then the third pass.
No shit.
Shit, right here.
Yeah, fine, push rods.
What are those made out of?
Metal. Fuel system still, that's not here yet. I might have to do a breather on it. I don't think that's here. But yeah, I'm gonna try and fire it up in the morning. I think I'm gonna leave before today. I didn't take a lunch.
What's that?
So I think I'm gonna leave before today since I didn't take a lunch.
No, that's not how lunches work, Dan.
It's not?
No.
How do they work?
You gotta actually go and take a lunch.
Oh.
But if you want to leave before, you can.
Wait, Dan, you got plans tonight? What's up?
What a big plans tonight, Dan.
Alright.
go home to sleep.
All right, so I just finished tuning on this grudge race vehicle from out of state. It performed flawlessly. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. This car does have a lot of potential to grow. Essentially, it's a pretty basic engine platform, meaning there's not much work done to the engine, but it has a great drivetrain in it. That's why it runs so well. So later on in the future, I do see him sending it back for future mods. But right now, again, it's running good. Horsepower numbers are good. I wish it had more horsepower. I wish it had a better motor so we could turn it up even more. And I know he is too, but this will be plenty for him to get used to driving the car because it's a completely different platform than what he was used to. It used to be a manual car, and now it's not. So it's going to take him some time to get used to driving it. Once he gets some seat time in it and gets some good laps in it, I have a feeling come summertime or the end of maybe winter time, he'll send it back for more horsepower.
What's up? That was wrap.
Beautiful.
Huh?
It looks like they're all the same size.
It does look good, doesn't it?
He does.
Take two. Take two, scene 18.
You want to start over?
There you go.
Chris is always scared of the camera. All right, so we have 17 Grand Sport. Dan's excited to start. We just finished our 800 horsepower package. It is a V3 A&A blower. What makes this one different than our normal package is we added drop-in pistons and drop-in rods with LT4 pump and LT4 injector, so this thing should make some really good power. I just loaded a startup file in it, so let's see how she runs. You ready, Dan?
Yeah, fire up.
Hey, Chris, you ready?
Chris, you ready?
I feel like Chris is never ready.
I'm always ready.
Think of live and five. You ready, Nick? I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yes, sir. Nick's Draw C7 right here. What we're doing is we changed the pulley to a 347. Use the same belt. See if we can make a little bit more boost. Try to get 720 to the wheels. Right now we're sitting at 714, so we're gonna go for one more dyno since the car cooled off. Hopefully make those magical numbers.
No, I got it.
I'm just messing.
So you hit it.
Oh yeah, we hit the magic numbers. Of course we did.
What do you think it was? They had just had to warm up?
Nah, it didn't need to warm up. It needed to cool down.
All right, guys. Back to what I call the fun part of these videos. We are in Mr. Dross 2017 Grand Sport Corvette. Just completed our 800 supercharged package on. For those of you at home that don't know really the difference between a regular Stingray and a Grand Sport Z06, the regular Stingray is a LT1 motor. The Grand Sport is also an LT1 motor. Main difference is the body panels. You get the nice wide look like the Z06. So you get the wide fender kit in the rear and a little bit front. The front fender kit's a little bit different than the Z06. It just says Grand Sport on it instead of Z06. But I love the way these Grand Sports look over the regular Stingrays, mainly because the back we can actually run a rear wheel and tire on it if we need to for horsepower reasons. But Mr. Dross' car is very similar to the last car that we just finished a couple weeks back, and it's actually heading back to Boston, which is where another car we just finished recently. It's probably a week or two ago. But Mr. Dross' car, again, basic parts list on this thing includes a centrifugal supercharger. Obviously, that's where we get all of our power out of it. American Racing headers, as always. We custom grind every cam, or at least I do, for every job that we build. I custom grind the cam according to what the customer's preference is, and obviously what supercharger we plan on using for it. Mr. Dross also, his first name's Nick, by the way, Nick also decided to upgrade a few things over our normal 800 horsepower package. So this car, hopefully, we got good videos of the build. Hopefully Dean, our media guy, got good footage of it, of Dan building the engine in this thing. So again, like I said in a previous video, the LT1 pistons just aren't strong for boost, especially when you start making real horsepower with them. So Nick decided to, for peace of mind, we had the engine out for our cam package that we do, which is part of our 800 horsepower package. While the engine's already out, he opted to go with drop-in pistons and rods, where the last car we did, I think we just did a drop-in piston. This one we went ahead and did drop-in pistons. So it's got a forged piston, forged rod, and the other thing that was limiting the last car we did was we kept the LT1 mechanical fuel pump on it, as well as the LT1 injectors on it. Well, Nick said, because we did the forged piston and the forged rods, he's like, well, can we make more horsepower now? I'm like, of course. Now fueling is the problem. So we upgraded his to an LT4 mechanical fuel pump, LT1 injectors. And the last car we did, similar to this, we maxed out, I think we were right at like 680 to the tires with the stock LT1 pump and LT1 injectors, which is usually the limit. I like to keep them around 650 to 680 to the tires. Nothing more than that. The injectors just get maxed out, and last thing you want is something to go lean and hurt itself. So this car with the forged rod, forged piston in it, I went ahead and put the LT4 pump, LT4 injectors. We turned the boost up. I believe it's making roughly 10.5 pounds. Again, there's still more room to go, and we already hit his goal. It made either 726 or 736 to the tires, which puts you right around 870 to almost 900 flywheel horsepower. So we hit his goal and some. His goal was 800 flywheel horsepower, so we hit that. And again, this is another car that you can literally hop in and drive every day. I got a quick little spot, so I want to do a third gear pull. And like I told y'all before, the centrifugal blowers are a linear horsepower curve. So traction control on, but I still think I'll be able to flat foot it pretty good without it spinning the tires in third. Yeah, she pulls good. Shifts great too. That's another thing. The car was on the dyno earlier. I always tune it with just the ECM, and then afterwards I'll load the TCM in it, and then go test drive and make sure the TCM's good. Alright guys, so I just pulled over and looked at that first run we made, and I did see air fuel looked good, but it did show just a little bit of detonation at the top of 4th gear. So I went ahead and pulled just a little bit of timing right there. I mean, it's very minute, but this is why we test drive vehicles. On the dyno, we're just making 5th gear pulls only, so you know, there's no drag coefficient or anything like that comes into play. So obviously the faster you go in these cars, which I don't like going too fast on the street in these cars, but you know, I do have to test them. So as you know, speed increases, so does the drag coefficient, puts more of a load under the vehicle, makes it easier for it to detonate or to go lean and stuff like that. So that is why I have to test drive them, and I do what I do. But shifting looked good. Like I told you before, I tune the ECM on the dyno, and then I normally build my TCM file, and I usually load it for our first test drive, which is what we're doing now. And again, this car had, you know, pistons and rods in it. We did the drop-in pistons and rods. So before we even dyno it, we put a couple 100 miles on it just to get the rings seated, and obviously new bearings and everything like that. It's pretty much a fresh engine. So we always do that, and our ritual is after we're done with all that, we usually give it one more oil change before the car actually ships back to, which this car, Mr. Dross' car, going back to Boston. And what we do is, let me go and start this recording and we can start driving some more. I like changing the oil one more time after we do pistons and rods, just to be able to cut the oil filter open, look it over, make sure there's nothing crazy that we see right away. That way, in case we do see something, we can catch it before it turns into a disaster, right? It's better to find a little bit of bearing wear or something not going right, and we can take it apart and fix it then, better than obviously the worst case scenario, letting it go and then having something catastrophic happen to your engine. So again, just another peace of mind. That's just part of the stuff we do here. Again, just to ensure that when the customer gets these cars back, that y'all can get in them and play with them as much as you want without you know, at least risk of possible of stuff breaking or stuff happening. Obviously, in this performance industry, stuff can happen. You know, we can build a $5,000 transmission and it can break first pass down a drag strip. I mean, I've seen it happen. It can happen. Now, is that common? No, but it can happen. So, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff, we just do everything we can to prevent those kind of things from happening as best as possible. And again, Mr. Drost, in my opinion, super smart decision on putting the drop-in pistons and rods in this thing. 730 or whatever it made to the tires. Like I said, it's over 850 flywheel horsepower. Is a perfect combination to hop in, drive, whether it's a weekend tour or even a daily driver. I mean, really, like, you can drive this car every day and have no problems with it. No heating problems, no transmission problems, nothing. You know, sit in traffic for as long as you want driving to work and you're fine. I mean, the only thing that you might feel is obviously the little cam at idle, but most people that are buying these type of packages with the camshafts in them, they like to feel the low bit idle. So we did it on his. Sorry, let's see if we can find some room. I want to do one more pull at least after I made that little change, just to see what it looks like. Now again, these are still the factory tires on it, so I'm not going to go from first or second gear. I'm just going to do a nice little third gear pull again. Probably just do third and fourth and let out. So second, third. Oh, let's see if I can get the PDR working for you guys. Sorry. Alright, PDR should be on. Again, that's third, fourth, just went into fifth and let out. Shifting feels good. even with the stock tire on it though, I'm able to utilize third gear, which is awesome with these centrifugal blower cars. Like I said, your average guy that's not used to 750 rear wheel horsepower, in my opinion, you know, starting off in fourth gear, just getting used to it, and then eventually third gear, and then if we put a tire on it, second, first gear, and I really do think, you know, almost anyone out there can drive a setup like this without having to worry about it going sideways and going into a ditch. Now, I will say, if you turn traction control off and you do dumb stuff in first and second gear, I mean, yes, you can get sideways in these cars pretty easily. But again, if you're just use some common sense while driving a car and you respect the car that you're driving, don't do dumb stuff like that, you'll be fine. But I'm gonna pull over, I'm gonna check that log, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so after making that little change, again, air fuel looks great. We're seeing no knock, so no detonation. Everything looks good. I think we will drive back to the shop now. Alright guys, we are back at the shop. Just got done test driving Nick's car. Nick, I appreciate you shipping the car all the way down from Boston, giving us your trust with it. She is a perfect running weekend car. You are going to absolutely love it, but be careful with it at the same time. We also have a couple cool things in the pipeline, guys. We have our titanium C8 catback that we installed. We also have the Q&A session that I left in the last video. I had y'all ask some questions. If y'all have any more questions, leave them down below and I'll try and get that out for next week. So for those of you guys, turn on notifications so you can catch that video, hopefully in a couple days. Those of you that are new to the channel, always hit that subscribe button, and thumbs up or thumbs down that video, guys. Let us know what you think. Till next time.